Welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Now, let's hear it for our special guest host, Jake and Belle Crause.
Good morning, Alliance family. And I can say good morning. We are Jake and Belle Crause out here on the West Coast, so it is still morning out here. So I'm just fired up to be asked to be a part of your Wednesday call, the midweek power boost that's going to see you through the rest of your work week and get you over that hump and get you and your family in a position to where you're making the money and you're making the changes in the lives of others that you want to be making this week. I want to take a second and thank Andy and Jane Albright for just this amazing company, the amazing system that they put together. The vision that they had when they started this was just so immense that it has allowed Jake and I years later to step into their vision and make a home here and make a financial legacy here. We found the Alliance. We were introduced to this opportunity at a time of transition in our life. Jake was in the military, had been in for over, what was it at that time, about 16 years or so. I was prior military, but we were at a transition in our life where we were looking to contribute more and be more effective in what we were doing. And we were in a transition of we wanted additional income. Our son had gotten into college 2 years early. And very excited for him. And college fund was not ready 2 years early. And so I did not want our shortcomings to be his stumbling block. He had done his part. He'd done everything he was supposed to do. And now it was time for us to fulfill our part. And we found the Alliance because we were looking for something very flexible, because we also have a special needs daughter who got in-home therapy 5 days a week. And Jake was still active duty. So he was deploying on a routine basis up and leaving the country for months and months at a time. And so I needed something that I could step into that would allow me to work as hard as I wanted on the time frame that I had available. And that's what the Alliance gave us. And because of the system, because of the mentorship, because the leaders here, the Alliance and Andy Albright's vision took a stay-home mom, and they turned us into multiple six-figure earners year after year. It's been unbelievable. It's been unbelievable for us. So thank you, Andy. Thank you, Jane, from the bottom of our hearts for what you've allowed our family to do here. And so with that, Jake, I want to just turn it over to you. I've been monopolizing the call already. So, babe, what you got?
I'm just fired up to wake up to this beautiful woman every single day. I know, before I left the military, it was not always the case. I was deployed all the time. I was in foreign countries. And because of this opportunity, Belle was able to facilitate my retirement, and I was able to leave the military, which I'm very grateful for my service, but I was also glad to move on to the next chapter of our lives. And so it's been an absolutely incredible journey. And really, it came from just a 5-minute conversation that we had with a friend of ours who I flew helicopters with in the Army. He just said, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing insurance?" And I was like, "Not really." And I said, "But Belle might like to give it a shot." And then the rest was history. And it's completely upended our lives. It's completely revamped what we thought was possible. Going from how are we going to squeak by on a military retirement to how are we going to be making 7 figures by the end of next year. That's the mindset shift that Andy and Jane have been able to, and other leaders like Diane and Fitz and, people that have been pouring into us in the last 7 years that we've been here. And I'm really excited for this topic today. And I can't wait to share it with you. And really the purpose of this call is we want to share this opportunity with the rest of you from the context of how does the Alliance give us an unfair advantage. And so we've got some slides that I'm going to bring up. Billy, I don't know if you're able to do that for us, but what we're going to talk about today is, what is it about the Alliance? What is it about this opportunity that gives us an advantage over the competition? And I spent 22 and a half years in the Army. Much of that was spent in the special operations community. And as a special operations aviator, I was privileged to work with some of the most advanced technology. I was more than privileged to be able to work with some of the most elite warriors on the planet Earth. People like Navy SEALs, people like Delta Force, people like the British SAS, Rangers, some of the most elite fighting forces on the planet, some people that are unnamed. But the U.S. military is the most lethal and elite fighting force the world has ever seen. And the reason for that is because we have given our military an unfair advantage over all of our adversaries. Okay. And so what I want to talk about today is how does that translate to the Alliance? And so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can start switching my slides. Technology. Okay. So I think fair fights are stupid. Okay. And that's a weird statement. I hope I didn't offend anybody by saying the stupid word or the S word. But I think if you're out there in the world trying to be in a fair fight, you're already behind the power curve. Okay. One of the reasons that we were so effective in the military and in special operations is because we gave ourselves every single advantage. Whenever we would go on a mission, right, we would make sure that we were 99% sure that we were going to come out victorious. We never went into a quote fair fight. So I don't know if you remember back in junior high school. I don't know if you ever saw this, but in junior high school, you would hear about a fight that was going to happen and after school. And so everybody was going to meet up in the parking lot or meet up in the playground, and everybody was going to get in a circle. And then these two people were going to fight. Right. And you know, what would you say? Don't jump in. We want to make sure it's a fair fight. That's dumb. Anything you do in life should be unfair stacked with you. Okay. You should come at life with every advantage possible.
Unfair in your favor.
Unfair in your favor. Yes, life is unfair, and we want life to be unfair in your advantage. Okay. We want to give our kids an unfair advantage, right? By having money in this world when leaving a legacy. Mm-hmm. We want our kids to have the best education to give them an advantage, right? Well, today I'm going to talk about that. Now, I'm going to be talking to you, a lot of new people on this call. So if you're new, you may not know or have heard of any of these advantages. You might not even realize that, these advantages exist and that you have full access to them. Okay. I'm also going to be talking to some people who have already been in the Alliance for years, possibly. Right? Yeah,
maybe you're on this call and you've been here and there's some resources available that maybe you overlooked or didn't realize was accessible to you specifically. So if you're on this call, whether you're brand new or whether you've been here a while, or maybe you're like some of us that I started part-time, I'd get on some of the calls, but some of the calls I didn't have time. I'd try to listen to them later. That, maybe you're that person that's in the in-between, and maybe you've missed some of these advantages that you have, and we're going to highlight those for you.
Exactly. And we're going to be talking to some people who know everything about these advantages, but I still want you to tune in. I want you to listen, because if you already know, that's great, but maybe you can pick up some things about how you can explain it to others. These are some things that I really enjoy talking to new people about. When I have a call with someone and I talk about the advantages that the Alliance has, I enjoy seeing that light bulb go off. And so we need to, I think we can always get better at explaining these advantages that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and get rolling on this. And the first thing is the first advantage, it starts with being on a winning team. Okay. I had an advantage in the military because I live in America. And when I joined the military, I was in the American military, and we were already a winning team. We'd had over 200 years of experience of developing our military, of getting all of these advantages in place. And so I was already going out the gates, starting with a winning team, right? And so the Alliance is a winning team already. In fact, but I'm going to start from even above the Alliance, and we're going to talk a little bit about Integrity Marketing Group. Some of you may not even know this company or even know that we're a part of Integrity Marketing Group, but we are. And it's run by a man named Brian Adams, and he's crazy, and he's awesome, and he's very humble. Okay. Cuts his own hair, but I don't know if I can say he's a billionaire. Maybe he is, maybe I know he is, but the guy is,
not necessarily say it.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but little bit of statistics on Integrity Marketing Group. Okay. $22 billion in new premium in 2022. So last year they did $22 billion in new premium. Winning team, right? We benefit from being within an integrity marketing group company and what the Alliance does. 12 million new insureds in 2022. There are over 200 partners with integrity, which we are one of them, the Alliance, and we're a significant partner with integrity. Over 530,000 agents work with integrity. Integrity's 25% of every Medicare policy in America flows through integrity, and 50% of every life insurance policy flows through our parent company. Imagine that. They are the second largest privately held company in the state of Texas. Isn't that crazy? And guess what? When we partnered with integrity, when Andy had the foresight to say, you know what, we need to bring these assets to bear with the Alliance, it was an amazing opportunity. They've been able to also just bring in tons more access to carriers, which we'll talk about. And they've been able to bring in technology and things that have made us way more effective. And that is your first unfair advantage. And then we're a part of the Alliance. Okay. The Alliance was started in 2002 by our mentor, Andy Albright and Jane Albright, in a basement. And it has risen. Andy has taken this company to the level where we were partnered with integrity. And it was not a small partnership. This was a fact where they courted the Alliance and said, we want you to be a part of, we need you to be a part of our company. What you bring to bear is unlike any other company in our landscape of companies that we partner with. You're unique.
And what I loved about when Andy talked about bringing that partnership together, Andy and Jane's biggest concern was, how does it help all the members of the Alliance? Not just how does it help Andy and Jane, but their heart was, how does it help our people? How does it help everyone else win? How does it help everyone else get bigger, better, faster, accomplish more? And again, that goes back to the vision that I spoke of earlier of Andy and Jane Albright. Their vision didn't stop with just, oh, someday we're going to hire a handful of people. Their vision has continued to grow, and the vision has expanded with that partnership with integrity. And so I'm grateful for leaders like that who don't limit the vision, that continue to grow the vision, that then we get to, what's that in NASCAR, when you get behind another car, so you have less resistance, right? So they're out there taking all that resistance. They're out there on the front, and we're just drafting behind them, being able to go on the trail that they have cut. And so that showed me their heart when they said, how does this help our people as a prerequisite to moving forward? I know I'm with world-class leaders. I know I'm with leaders who look out for us. And so I couldn't let it go by without pointing that out.
And by the way, I just want to point out too that nobody asked us to do this subject for the call. We're passionate about being on a winning team. This isn't something we were directed to do. This is the information that we're putting out is stuff that we came up with because we are grateful that we are a part of this organization. And I just want everybody to know that, this is coming from our heart. It truly is. And I'm excited. When I joined the military, I knew I was joining a winning team. And I never thought that I would find that kind of a culture when I left. In fact, our next slide here, one of the biggest assets, Andy and Jane and Brian Adams and all the technology, everything that they put together, an amazing system, but it's developed a culture. Okay. And one of the biggest, I'd say the biggest advantages that you have is you're a part of a culture that helps everyone. Whether you're a leader here or whether you're a new agent, nobody has the attitude that I've figured it out and now somehow I'm going to keep that information to ourselves. The culture here is world class. And I will tell you, I talk to a lot of agents all around the country that are looking for a change. There's a lot of bad cultures out there. Okay, there are a lot of bad cultures. In the Alliance, what attracts people to the Alliance is the fact that everyone helps everyone else. This picture was taken in, is that Aruba?
That was Cancun.
That was Cancun. Okay. So, some of the best people, some of my best friends are in that picture. And I don't know, I'm fired up about the culture. I never thought that, in the special operations community, everybody thinks that it's like yelling at each other and like, you've got to perform and you got to do this. No, it's like being on an NFL team. They want to bring out the best in you and they want to help you become the best that you possibly can. It's and the Alliance is like that. I never thought I would find that again. Okay. So it starts with being on the winning team. You are on the winning team. And then I want to talk about, practically speaking, what are some advantages that you have that you may or may not be taking advantage of, or may not even know exist. I think a lot of you may know these exist, but it's like, how do we communicate it to new agents? I think that's a big part of what. So it starts with you. Okay. You can have all of the advantage in the world, but if you don't do the work, if you don't step up to the plate, none of these advantages will help you. Okay.
There is a phrase I like to use a lot when we are talking with our team is, you can buy an advantage, but you cannot buy your way out of the work. So we're going to show you some of the advantages that Andy and Jane Albright have purchased for you. So what's better than buying yourself an advantage is when somebody else has bought the advantage that you get to participate in. But remember that participation part, the work part, that's the part you got to bring. And we have found that sometimes an advantage that is purchased for you is underutilized or underappreciated. And that's not a place that any of us want to be in. Someone else put their blood, sweat, and tears into these advantages. And whenever you're handed something that you didn't pay for, just know it wasn't free. It might be free to you, but it's not free. Someone else paid for that somehow, with their money, with their time, with their belief, with their hope, with their last bit of courage. They paid for that. Don't disrespect the gift. Don't disrespect the gift. So again, you can buy an advantage, but you can't buy your way out of the work.
It's so funny you said that phrase, because I was going to quote her, because that's one of my, that's like, I don't know where you heard that, or I think you just came up with it, but either way, it's so true, guys. You got to bring the hustle. Okay. And so, but we're going to get started. So one of the first advantages, and I will tell you that your competitors, many of your competitors do not have this advantage. Okay. We don't really generally do cold calling. You can do, but we have leads, guys. We've got an internal lead system that's based on direct mail. And then we've got other lead systems that have been vetted by the company saying these are quality leads. Okay. We're not in the lead business. Like, it's not our model. It's like, how do we get in front of clients? And there are so many agents that I talk to who their only way that they can talk to a client is either making a list of 100 people that they know and then having their manager sell those people as training, or it's to cold call a list of people who never asked for information, right? Our leads, our direct mail leads, these are things that people filled out, mailed back in, like actually went to the mailbox and put it in the mailbox.
They found a pen that worked.
They like filled it out. They saw it. First of all, they answered mail. Like, who actually opens their mail anymore if it's not like, okay. But they went to all that work, they sent it in, and now they want information. Is it perfect? No lead is perfect. The only perfect lead is probably a referral. Those are about as perfect as they get, which will teach you how to do. But no cold calling, guys. These are people who are interested. And we have Andy put together a team called the LPT, the lead performance team. You actually have somebody that will sit you down and will walk you through how to get leads. Okay. Lead performance team. You can go on the ARC, look under resources or connections, and you'll see lead performance team, and you can book on their calendar. Amazing opportunity.
They will help you understand the lead system. They will help you understand the types of leads. They will coach you through your first order of leads. They will help you with the mix. They will help you understand that entire lead program. And guess what? You didn't pay for that staff, right? Andy Albright put that staff together for you to support you. So you have an unfair advantage in the purview of, where do I start? Who's a good vendor? How does this begin? Right? That is in your corner. That's an unfair advantage in your arsenal.
Just the fact that we have access to leads puts us way above the pack as far as competitors. You know, I look at competitors, there's people out there in the insurance world. You know, there's probably just in Integra, there's 500,000, but like there's other people. There are so many other agents out there, and in varying levels of situations and opportunities. Guys, we're already, just with this one advantage, way above. But it doesn't mean we neglect our warm market. It doesn't mean we don't go and talk to people that we know. We absolutely should do this. But leads give us an advantage. And
just a quick story on the leads real quick. I apologize, Jake. I kind of go off script sometimes. For those of you who know me, know I kind of do that. I'm sorry. Those leads are interested parties. Those leads are what allowed us to build a business from day one. Again, a stay-home mom who didn't have a lot of connections, a lot of network, was able to go out day one. And we have helped a lot of families with those leads, written a lot of business. And sometimes we've gotten some really old leads, got an old lead that led to literally a $750,000 annuity down the road, right? And it started out as a $2 lead, right?
How much did you make on that?
Made like, I don't know, 30.
Oh,
no, that was the other one. This one I made about 38,000 on, but that's not the point. The point is that those leads are there as a tool in your arsenal to jumpstart your business, and they're effective. Again, you put in the work. Here's the asset. Here's the advantage. You put in the work, you will get the results.
I think we're passionate about leads. We won't spend as much time on each one, but here we go. All right. Here's a statistic. We have access to 450 insurance companies to work with. We've hand-selected, or Andy has hand-selected 35 of the top life insurance companies. His last count was 35.
Maybe it's 40. I don't know.
And 12, I believe, Medicare companies, all the top companies. These are companies like Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, AIG, Aflac. We've got CVS Pharmacy has a life insurance division.
In the Medicare world, Humana, Aetna, United Healthcare, like all the big names. Andy went through and vetted those. He went through and selected the ones that would be in our arsenal. And these are the best of the best. The best of the best.
That's right. They're all A-rated, and they are absolutely the best, and they're hand selected. You know, we have access to a lot. This is the cream of the crop. And one of the things that we run into when we have 35 life companies to choose from is like, life insurance is based on somebody's health condition, right? Whether most life insurance is based on their health eligibility. Now, we have an automated underwriting toolkit that will, well, first of all, let me back up a second. Your competitors with these A-rated, imagine having only one company. You know how many agents are out there that only have one company to choose from, or two or three? Think about this. Think about when they run across a client that doesn't qualify for a policy because their company just doesn't accept that health condition. I know for a fact that we've got people level benefits that otherwise 90% of the insurance agencies out there would not have been able to help them get a level benefit. In fact, you have clients who are.
Yes. So we had a client that was looking to do an IUL. And that's an index universal life. It's an advanced product. They were looking to put a lot of money into this for their tax-free retirement. And on first purview, we submitted with one carrier and they got declined. They got declined with that carrier. But then we were able to pivot and submit with another carrier, and they got approved at a standard rate with the other carrier so they could move forward with their tax-free retirement plan. And it's because of the arsenal that we have that we're able to make that pivot. I've never been in a home where I've had to tell someone, I don't have a solution for you. Now, they may not have liked the solutions we had, that may not have fit what their budget was, but I always had a solution. And when you're walking into a home, no matter what's on the other side of that door, you have solutions. That's a set of empowerment and confidence that you can carry with you all day long, no matter what's on the other side. It's kind of like going into a firefight that, no matter what's on the other side, you've got bigger firepower.
Well, I think it's funny too that you have several clients who are insurance agents that aren't with the Alliance. They work for a company like State Farm or Allstate, and they weren't able to get insurance with their own company.
Yes.
And so
insurance agents of other companies that are my clients for insurance, because again, they couldn't get their own company to cover them. So you will not run into that with the Alliance. And
they refer you business too.
They absolutely do.
Yeah, because they know that they can't get it with their one company, but we have lots of companies. So that's a huge advantage. You know
that you have an unfair advantage when your competitors refer people to you.
Exactly. Right. And what's cool is we have a toolkit that it's automated. And, back in the Stone Ages, like two years ago, before we had an automated underwriting toolkit, we had to go to this chart to look at their height and weight. And we had to go to this chart to look at their medications. And then we went to this chart to see medical conditions. And we went to this chart or this guide to look for felonies or anything like that. And then we could say, yes, they qualify for this one company. And then we'd have to go do that with another company and see if they qualify. Now we can put in their height, their weight, their smoking status. We can put in their medications, medical conditions, and the system will ask you, clarifying questions like how long have they had diabetes? And then we answer those questions, and then it will spit out a list of companies that will say yes to that client, or should say yes. If garbage in, garbage out, got to make sure you put good information in, but it will say yes to those clients, and then it will tell you the prices. Talk about a massive advantage that Andy has invested for us to be able to have an automated underwriting toolkit. So,
and that toolkit is amazing. If you guys are not participating in that, get with your leaders and make that happen. Because the beautiful thing of having so many carriers means we literally have hundreds and hundreds of products. And the confusing part is having hundreds and hundreds of products. Like, how do I pick? Well, this just simplifies it down into some little bit of data entry in there. And then you're going to have a list of available options. And then you can take that list, and that's when you call your manager and say, this is a situation I'm working with. These are the great people I'm meeting with. Here's some of the options that showed up on the screen. I want to make sure that we're choosing the right path for their situation among these options. And now you're very empowered to help that family in real time. You never have to walk away without an app.
Absolutely. And you're, again, keeping with the theme of this call, your competitors, many of them are sitting in the home with the client, looking at all these charts, guessing on what company will say yes to them. Even if they have multiple companies like we do, many of them are still having to play the guessing game or rely, on just their best guess. And we don't have to. So, also back in the Stone Ages before COVID, the only way we could sell a policy was if we were face to face with that client, most of our carriers. One thing that COVID changed is now if you have a cousin, we love in-person sales. We love sitting down with somebody and, but sometimes like with a current client or with a cousin, family member who's in a different state, we got to be able to write a policy on people sometimes remotely, and that's okay. And guess what? We can do that here. Andy made sure and with collaboration that we could almost as far as I know, every single carrier that we have now has an option where you can remotely sell a policy. And we have a system to show you how to do that. And we also, so you can sell in person and you can sell virtually. Okay. Get with your manager. There's pros and cons to all of it. But I'm just fired up that we're not limited anymore by technology. We're not limited anymore by we're limited by our imagination, like how the hustle, hustle. It doesn't mean you do things always one way. You just hustle and get stuff done. And now we have less limitations now. I'd
be remiss not to highlight Megan Wood on this. She is the top salesperson. She's top in-person sales, and she's top in the remote sales. And she it leverages her current clients. So when they're calling or she's reaching out to say, hey, your policy's been approved. By the way, when we spoke last time, we needed to cover this and this. And she's doing those follow-up sales. She's doing those follow-up sales right there over the phone. She already met the client. They already know and trust her. She already has their information. And so when you transition into those follow-up conversations, it's a smooth flow right into an e-app that they can sign right there over the phone. Many different ways to do it. Our carriers have made it so simple. Voice signatures, code word signatures, email signatures, so many options. And so when you have that relationship with that client, when you do those follow-ups, it makes it smooth as butter to now do those layering on of other ancillary plans that we can help that family with.
What's crazy is I remember when COVID happened and there were agencies or agents that were contacting us wanting to work with us because their agency just shut the door. They said, well, we can't do in-person sales, or we shouldn't do in-person sales, or whatever. They weren't set up to be able to do remote sales, and they literally just shut their doors and laid off all of their workers. The Alliance, in about a span of about 2 weeks, said, how do we do this remotely? And so we pivoted. That's the one thing that I love about this company is Andy does not sit on his heels and just wait for opportunity. He makes opportunity happen.
That's that world-class leadership, that ability to pivot in a moment's notice. No one expected a pandemic. No one planned for a pandemic, but our leaders said, how do we bring the fight to the pandemic instead of how do we roll over? How are we going to win in this environment? And buddy, we won. Yeah, we won 2020. So
we did. We won 2020 big time. All right. This is a really cool subject. I can't wait to tell you about this. So actually, I'm just going to tell one of the stories. We had a new agent. Okay. She had never sold a policy before in her life, not one time, and not even ever sold anything. As far as I know, she'd never been in sales. She never sold an insurance policy. And this was her first sale that she made in insurance. Her commission was $34,000 on that policy. That's how much she made in that one policy, $34,000 direct deposit into her bank account. And then we also had.
And it's because of our wealth management department. So in our wealth management department, that's Burlington Alliance Capital Management. Again, Andy's vision to bring tools to the table, to bring ammo to the arsenal. He brought an entire department here that specializes in those advanced cases, those big money cases that will come alongside you and your client and guide and facilitate those types of deals. Andy hired them. Like, we didn't have to hire them. Our agent was able to make $34,000 on her first paycheck because Andy had a vision to bring on support, to put weapons in our arsenal, to give us an unfair advantage to win. Now, she went out and did the work. She found a client that was going to put $60,000 a year into an IUL, into one of those tax-free retirement plans. She did the work of finding the clients. And then we brought the support to win the fight. We brought the support, so she had that unfair advantage. Very exciting, and she was brand new. You don't have to be a seasoned agent to tap into those resources. So if you're out there and you're brand new, you can write cases like that too. The support is here for you.
That's what I love. Day one, you have access to things that people spend their whole career never doing. You know, there are a lot of your competitors are out there afraid to write an annuity, or they're afraid to write an IUL because they don't want to mess with people's retirement, or they don't feel like they know enough to be able to do that. And after maybe
confident enough just to have the conversation,
they're not confident to have the conversation. Whatever the case is, they may go 5 years, 10 years, 15 years with just staying with, you know, writing regular insurance policies, which there's nothing wrong with writing regular insurance policies. But I think we estimated Belle made an extra $138,000 last year just from our wealth management division. Just from having this one unfair advantage increased our income by $138,000 extra.
Sure, 130.
She writes a lot of insurance too, like regular insurance, right? This was like the cherry on top because of that wealth management tool. And we were afraid to do any type of thing like this.
We have another agent on the team who earned the trip to Ireland last year from these large cases because she knew people who needed assistance, and she found the people and she connected them with wealth management. She found them and connected them with wealth management. And as a new agent was able to facilitate those retirement benefits, those retirement plans with wealth management. Again, Burlington Alliance Capital Management on Connections on the ARC. You'll find their link there that you can schedule on their calendar. But she wrote enough business on the big cases that she earned the trip to Ireland. And y'all, we had a lot of fun in Ireland.
Oh man, so much fun. Guys, you got to get on the trips. And your competitors out there they're floundering when it comes to annuities and IULs. And you from day one have like 30 years of experience at your disposal. It's amazing. This is another fun topic. So quick story. Belle and I, last time we bought vehicles was, I don't know, several years back, but I remember the day that we went to go buy a car, right? And we're like, okay, we need to buy a car. What do we do? All right. Well, I picked up the phone and I called a guy named Vance. I said, Vance, I need to buy a car. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I'm not in the car business anymore. I was like, oh, okay, well, where should I go? And so he recommended a dealership to go to. So we went there. We ended up buying 2 cars on the same day. Same exact car. Really weird. I know. We're efficient that way. Like one's red, one's brown, I guess. Anyway, so we made that new car salesman's day by going in there and saying, okay, we like this one. We'll take 2 of them, right? He made a big sale. He got a lot of commission. He's excited. But the reason I picked up the phone that day to call Vance was because every day on my birthday, every year on my birthday, he sent me a text or reached out.
Mine too.
Yeah, because we had bought a car from him before, and he reached out and said, hey, just thinking about you. Happy birthday. Now, I know he did not have on his calendar at home, like he didn't have it's Jake's birthday today, right next to his kids, like bar mitzvah or birthday or whatever, like was important. He didn't write that up on a Sharpie so that he would remember it. He had a system that alerted him that if you want to be a good car salesperson, you need to reach out to these people today because it's their birthday. And you need to reach out to them once a year and say, hey, were you thinking about buying a car? Because he knew that if he could keep contact with his clients, he could make more money and make more sales, right? If you're in sales, you probably have a way or should have a way of keeping track of your clients, right? And what's really cool about the Alliance is we have a built-in system. It's called the CRM, Customer Resource Management System. The ARC. It's in the ARC, the Agent Resource Center, but it's called the CRM, the Customer Resource Management. And in there, every policy you write talks about your client, like what policy did you write? When is their birthday? It's going to alert you when it's time for an annual review.
When they're in a conversion period.
When they're in a conversion period where you can make a new policy.
When they're in the Medicare window.
That's right. When they turn 65. Our CRM is going to alert you when you have opportunities to make more money. And I think that's amazing because here's the thing, your competitors, most of your competitors out there are doing this. They have a long day at work. They're out there selling some policies. Maybe they sold 3 or 4 policies. All right. And now it's 11 o'clock at night and they're sitting there. It's been a long day and they're typing in their client's address into their own CRM. They're typing in the birth date. Here's the company that we use. They might be using a spreadsheet to keep track of their clients, or they might be paying for a CRM that has nothing to do with insurance. They've adapted it to insurance, right? So they're 11 o'clock at night. They want to go to bed because they're tired. They're exhausted, but they're having to data entry all of the information about their clients, what they sold them, notes about their dog. You know, their dog had a cone on its head. They want to make sure to check in with the client and ask about Fluffy, who had a cone on his head. You know, all the things that you need to remember about your clients, they're sitting there typing all of this information in. And then they're doing that for every sale that they make. With the Alliance, our CRM system is built into the dashboard. Not only that, it tells you, or I should say it does the data entry for you. It imports it. When you write a policy, you know, and it gets approved, you know that all of that data is in there. You didn't have to spend a minute data entering anything into your CRM. It's already there, unless you put some notes or maybe upload a file or something like that.
What's beautiful about it, it's not just your clients. It's your leads too. Your leads are in your CRM too. So it's all in there. And the backbone of that CRM, again, is the ARC, state-of-the-art software developed for us by the Alliance. Andy Albright commissioned that research. He brought on those assets to develop this state-of-the-art resource center that is tailor-made for what we do. Because it's not just your client management; it's your paycheck. But how many times did we get those? We get paid like 40 times a day, right? All the different carriers doing all these different deposits. And I know what some of y'all are thinking if you're new on here is like, who gets paid 40 times a day? Well, you'll see. You'll see. You be in this business long enough. All those transactions coming through from all these different carriers, and they have made that software where it filters it all out and makes it to where you can see every policy you're being paid on, every carrier you're being paid by, and then what policy it's for, what person's it's for. It's like having a full-time accountant. It's like having a full-time accountant on staff, and that's built into the ARC, the Agent Resource Center, that was designed for you by the Alliance. Visionary Andy Albright put it together, brought the manpower, the resources together to make that happen for us. And you know how much he charges us? $0.
That's right.
You don't for that. That is your unfair advantage. They want us to win.
Really, this section should be called the the CRM is a part of the Agent Resource Center. And I remember before we had the ARC, and we just had to give up on figuring out what we were getting paid. You know,
we got a deposit, but like, was this for 6 policies or was it for 2 policies? And was this policy included?
It didn't say anything except here. It was, and the crazy thing, and this is what your competitors are dealing with. Okay. Right now, this is like 11 o'clock at night. They're trying to figure this out too. They want to know what they got paid. Guess what? They have to download a form from this company, and then they have to download a commission report from this company and one from this company. And guess what? They don't match. They're totally different. One's a PDF file, one's a CBS file or CSV file, one's an Excel spreadsheet, and all the columns are different. and they all worded differently. And it's like,
gonna give me PTSD.
oh my God, like I could not remember. I just was like, you know what? These are billion-dollar companies. They're probably paying me correctly.
I'm going to just have to trust that they're right.
I'm going to have some faith and just say, good. But now on our commission reports, like literally it every single thing that you write is there, and it does the math transparently out in front of you.
Down to the penny.
Down to the penny.
Transparency.
And it tells you, okay, this is how much the annual premium was. This is what your commission rate was. This is what the 100% grid is. You could literally pull out a calculator and verify every single thing that you're getting paid. And it works out every time. It's absolutely, it's like paying, like you said, paying an accountant 20 hours a week to get all your finances together in one place. There's way more to the ARC. We're not going to go
much more. That could be its own training.
Yeah. Robbie Croft, thank you for all the work you do on the ARC and the CRM. Okay. Oh, I'm going to let you talk about these.
Oh, so we mentioned trips. So we have world-class incentive trips every year. This year, obviously, if you saw the promo to this, we're earning New Zealand. Y'all, we're going to have a good time. I'm fired up. I'm so fired up to go on this. When I first started here, I had never been on like a true all-out vacation. Like we had taken vacations, but it usually revolved around visiting family, usually revolved around a military required move. We took some trips that were military mandated. If you know, they're called deployments.
All expenses paid.
All expenses were paid. Yep. If you came back, great. You know, all expenses were paid, get you there and back. They were usually to places no one ever puts on their list of places they want to go. But when we earned our first trip, this was our first full year in the business. We earned the incentive trip. We were going to Hawaii and Maui that year. And I had never experienced travel on that level. Like the eVentures team takes care of everything. They book your tickets. They book you world-class resorts, 5-star the whole way, presents on your bed every night, spending cash. Now, prior to the ARC, it was literally cash. You would get there, you get checked into your hotel, and then you go over to the eVentures table, and they would hand you your envelope of cash. I was shocked. I'm like, where I'm from, you pass these things under the table, not over the table, and nobody signs for them, right? But like there we were, our envelope of $1,000 and gifts on our bed, and I'm like, who does this? Yeah. And it gets addictive because once you go on one, you can't miss one because you not only did you go and have that experience and you were pampered, you were there with some of your best friends. You were there with some people that were in this fight on poverty with you. And so when you're there, what's better than a world-class vacation than a world-class vacation with your friends? So now you're on adventures together, the road to Hana together, toasting on the Eiffel Tower when we went to Paris with some of our bestest longtime friends from the military who joined this business. And we got to stand to do a champagne toast together on the Eiffel Tower. Like, who gets to do this? Who gets to do this? We do. Every year. We get to take a new adventure every year.
It's like a once in a lifetime trip, but every year.
Every year.
No exaggeration. You couldn't plan this trip as well. The excursions, like the Gap of Dunloe in Ireland, I can't even describe it. It was on a
carriage ride through the mountains, beautiful lake views. Again, you're there with your friends. A catered meal out on the other side, a catered meal from a 5-star restaurant in the mountains after a carriage ride with some of the most breathtaking views that most people only see in movies or on TV or screensavers. You know how computers have those screensavers where they show you amazing things from around the world? You get to visit those in person.
Right. And in keeping with the theme of this call, what are your competitors doing? Many of them don't have a trip. But the ones that do, a lot of times it's like, hey, guess what? We're going to Daytona Beach this year. And you get to stay at a beachfront hotel for like 3 days. Guys, it's not the same. It's not. No offense to Daytona Beach. If you live there, I didn't mean to disrespect it, but I'm just saying that it's not the same. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, Belle had a situation where we got it was a $58,000 commission on an annuity. And I will tell you, Belle was more excited about the points that she got for that trip than she was about the money. The money was great. It's in the bank. Good. Like, it's like toilet paper. It's a tool, we use it. But like the trip points, that was like, well, like put us over the top. We were so excited.
So for those of you on here to really get an insight onto who I am, I'm an overgrown toddler. When I run business, I have my favorite travel cup. I jokingly call it my sippy cup. It's my favorite travel cup. I keep my Diet Dr. Pepper in there. Have my favorite cooler with my favorite snacks on there. And I fight every day for a sticker on the board of the Alliance trip leaderboard. I want my sticker on that board that says, you've earned this trip. So again, I'm an overgrown toddler. I have my favorite cup. I have my favorite snacks, and I'm doing everything I can every day to get a sticker. That's my fight.
But that's okay. I mean, money will take you so far, but you've got to have something, an incentive to go. And I tell people all the time when I'm talking to them about the Alliance, I say, we don't have quotas. We don't have, certain hours that you have to clock in. What we do instead is put something out in front of you that you can strive for, okay, that you can work towards. All right. And what that does is that makes a really good culture. It's not one where you're afraid of being on the chopping block or being on the naughty list because you didn't produce enough. You're actually striving to get something that is amazing. And so I encourage you, trick yourself, get wrapped up in it, drink the Kool-Aid, like get excited about the trip. Yeah. And you won't. And here's the thing. When I was in the Army, whenever somebody was teaching a class, all right, I knew that if they stomped their foot 3 times, all right, and I'm stomping my foot, you can't hear it, but I'm stomping my foot 3 times. It meant that it was going to be on the test there. Okay. This was an important thing. Guys, if you go to conference, which is coming up in July, if you're brand new with the Alliance, you're going to get 60,000 bonus points towards the trip. Okay. I'm stomping my foot 3 times. If you go to conference, you get 60,000. If you go to the next one in the fall, you're going to get another 60,000 bonus points. You only need 250 to earn this trip. You're going to get 120,000 bonus points for attending our conference. So I'm just stomping my foot. Remember that is so important. Not only going to learn what you need to learn in order to earn the trip, you're going to be almost halfway there. Even if you're starting today. Tim and Nikki are in Paris in half a year part-time.
Yep.
All right. That was back
Tim
in the
and
day.
Nikki Long down in Savannah, Georgia. Yep. The first year they came on board halfway through the year. I think he got licensed in like May or June, but really they had another business. He really started running business in July, and they earned the incentive trip to go to Paris. And we were together on that champagne toast the next year on the trip. So for those of you that are new, you can do it. You can do it. You need to get your bonus points, but you can do it. Absolutely.
All right. So another visionary thing that Andy has done is put in place trainings. Okay. And this isn't the only training that we do, but there are 3 high quality calls every single week, at least 3. Okay. Sometimes there's President's Club calls. Sometimes there's special calls, training calls that come up, but every single week you have at least 3 high quality trainings. All right. This is one of them. This is the TWC, the Wednesday call. Very imaginative name. I love it. It's easy to remember. All right. We have the product call. In fact, I want everybody, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing this and you don't have it down cold, every call we have, take out your phone right now. Okay. Or if you're on your phone, get ready to screenshot something. Okay. All right. I want you to screenshot this. These are these 3 high quality calls that we do every single week. And it's a different leader every single week. It's not just one person getting up here. It's a different perspective. It's a different topic. And I'm grateful that Andy has, allowed us to do this Wednesday call, trusted us to do this call. I'm very grateful for that. But snap a picture of this. This is how you can find each one of those calls each week. Okay. So we got the Wednesday call on Wednesday, and the times. I did all of the math on the time zones. I hope it's right. I'm might have got it wrong. We'll see. The product call, where an expert in products tells you everything you need to know about different products, different things that are new, different things that you should know about. And then the activity call is very similar to the Wednesday call, but it's based on, here's some things that you can do right now to increase your business, whether it's growing a team or whether it's selling a policy, something that's going to help you make more money. And so those are 3 high quality calls. Snap a picture, take a screenshot, no excuses. And they're recorded too, which is really nice. You can go back.
For those who are here part-time that work at JOB, you can always go back later. And if you were at work and couldn't get on live, you can go back and watch that recording. And there's no reason to miss out on that training that's going to change how you do this business and how quickly you win.
That's right. The Wednesday call and the activity call. So the Wednesday and Friday call, those are on YouTube. You can go back and watch the rewind on YouTube. The product call gets recorded, and I believe it's put on the new videos section of the video vault. That's what it's called, on the NAA University. Okay.
Part of the ARC.
NAAuniversity.com. You sign in, you have access to recorded calls. I think it's amazing. So just wanted to point that out, guys. Screenshot it, take a picture, and then send it out to all your agents. If you maybe your agents don't know about all these calls. I'm telling you, you got to get the word out. Andy says, be a river, don't be a dam. Like, when information comes your way, push it on to somebody who needs it. Okay. We also have 24/7 on-demand training. All right. Who loves training when you can do it at 3:00 in the morning in your underwear, right? Like you can sit there and they've developed the NAA University that has topics like how to manage your money, how to do the in-home presentation,
how to make phone calls.
How to make the phone calls. That's probably people's number one first obstacle, is how to make phone calls, right? You can sit there. There's all sorts of topics you may not even, there's all sorts of products like this annuity and this IUL, and you can get on there 24/7 and have access to very high quality. This isn't like a recorded webinar or something. These are Gina Hawks or some other high quality trainer gets on there and gives a virtual class on whatever subject matter. It could be Andy talking about how to do alliance activity, how to track your numbers. It could be how to get free the Alliance financial engine. How do you get free from a JOB, right? And so you don't know what's in there. Go in there, and now they've even upgraded it. Now you can go section. If you're a new person, it's a rookie section where it's like, hey, maybe this is where I need to concentrate, or maybe I've been in the Alliance for a while. Let's look at some of these more intermediate or medium level intensity courses, and then there's advanced level courses, right? That you may need to only go in when you have a specific need to learn about. But
this is a great place to have a conversation with your manager. It's like, where should I be doing what, right? Because don't go in there and get lost in the university. Don't go in there and think that, I need to get a PhD in all these classes. That's not what it's for. It's there for guided training. So get with your manager, and if they direct you to, that you need this training, now you can fit that into your schedule. You can listen to it while you're driving to appointments. You can listen to it while you're making dinner. You can listen to it at night. You can listen to it in the shower. Those are on demand for you to learn from on the in-between, but to concentrate on where your manager directs you to study next. Right. So yeah, you're not walking in there to get a PhD. You're walking in there to get what you need and get out and put it to use so you can serve more in your community.
What's funny too is I talk to a lot of people because we're building our organization. We want to grow a massive organization. And one of the biggest complaints I get from people, and the reason they're moving to a different opportunity, is because their training is like, here's 3 audios, listen to it, and let me know when you write 20,000 a month, right?
That's what our competitors are doing.
What our competitors are facing is, there's just a lack of high quality training. Andy has invested millions of dollars into this training program. I have no doubt. I don't even want to, I know it's millions. I don't know how many millions, but he's invested to give us an unfair advantage. But you know what? You have to go in and you have to do it.
Again, you can buy an advantage, but you can't buy your way out of the work.
Right. That's right. Okay. And the last thing that we have on the slide is we have a lot of in-person training, and I'm stomping my foot. We have conferences. Okay. So we have in-person local training that's put on by the top people in the company. Gina Hawk, she flies around all over the country.
Is amazing. So if Gina is coming to a city near you, and by near, I mean within 5 hours of a flight or a drive. So we can use all kinds of transportation here. If she's coming to a city near you, close the gap, go show up. If Andy has sent her, from her home in Florida, away from her husband, she travels and Phil is wonderful as Gina comes out to serve the team. She travels all over the country. If she's come all the way to your state, close the gap, show up, get that in-person one-on-one information, get a phone number, take a selfie, know that you are building a relationship with the product expert, with the person. Remember the story we told you about the lady who made the $34,000? Guess who was instrumental in that? Gina Hawks. So if you want to have a friend like that in your phone, show up where she's at. Be intentional about making that contact in person. Gina's amazing. And the fact that when we talk about weapons in our arsenal, some people they've seen the Avengers movies, and there is one of the movies where they had all these aliens coming in, and Loki, the god of mayhem or whatever, was there. Was there with Tony Stark, and he wasn't in his Iron Man gear, but he was saying, we have an intergalactic force, and we have this and we have that. And Tony Stark looks at him, he's like, yeah, well, we have a Hulk. Well, when anybody comes to me and says, what's your super, I'm like, we have a Gina Hawks. I don't care what else you got, wherever you at. We got a Gina Hawks. You ain't got that. You ain't got that. We do. She is our nuclear option here. She's amazing. And she is on staff to help you help your clients. She is on staff to help you train your agents. She's on staff to come to a city near you so you can bring your agents, bring your friends, and come and meet her in person and get the support that you need to run your business at a bigger level.
Exactly right. And we just did a quick search on, if you go to the Alliance ARC and you go under Alliance Hotspots, which is under resources or connections tab, I think. And I circled it there, theallianceevents.com, and you click on hotspots. Just tomorrow, today's the 28th, just tomorrow, we've got Gina Hawks in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. We've got Spencer and Albright and Marcus Richardson in Aurora, Colorado, which is right there in Denver. And then we've got Brandon Manley and Mike Hilla is in Wilmington, North Carolina. Like, these are some local trainings. Now, if you go there, you're going to see a whole laundry list of Alliance trainings that are there to help you. So
across the country, major leaders.
All right. And also, I want to talk about conferences. We do 4 conferences a year. Okay. We used to do 2. We do 4 now, and it's amazing. Every quarter we have a conference. Our next one is July 14th through the 16th, and it's in Miami, Florida. I'm stomping my foot. Okay. This is on the test. All right. This is a test. Are you going to put into action what's important? We have a conference in Miami, Florida, July 14th through the 16th, Friday evening to Sunday night. Okay. I remember our first conference we ever went to, and I'll just tell a quick story because we're running out of time. Belle was struggling a little bit for 6 months, and she hadn't sold more than 6,000 in a whole month. We were on the fence whether to go to our first conference. And guess what? We've kind of broke down and we said, you know what? We're just going to go. We're going to give it a shot, see what happens. When we got back from our first conference, she wrote $17,500 in the first week back from conference. And it was really in a 2-day period, but she wrote $17,500. Yeah, you learned some things, but I would say you got a whole bunch more belief. And it had that much of an impact. And that was really the point where our business started to take off, right?
It's where you pick up the confidence. That's where you pick up the nuggets. That's where you pick up the true power of what the Alliance has to offer. It's the power of the community. It's the power of the leaders. It's the power of the ones who blaze the trail before you. It's the power of the success of others that lets you know, if they did it, I can too. Someone like me out there won. Somebody that's playing with the same cards I've been dealt is winning with that hand. I want to know how they're winning with the same hand I'm holding, right? Because my lineage says you can't win with that. My background says you can't win with that. The old network of people I had said you can't win with that. But there's people here holding the same card you're holding, and they're winning the game. Come meet them. Come find them. Come ask them questions on how they're winning the game with the same cards you're holding. Because I promise you they are. I promise you, you're not running into a struggle that someone else has not run into and overcome. You're not running into an obstacle or a situation that someone else has not learned to deal with and can teach you how to deal with it too. Don't be an island. Get to the conference. Get around the heat. Pick up that power boost. Our kids play video games and they always talk about, getting that power boost. This is your power boost. This is where you go and you get that recharge for the next 90 days to get out there and make your business happen. Change your world. You can turn decades into days with the right association. You can spend a decade of messing it up, and in a few days of getting around the right people fixes it all.
That's right.
Literally changes everything. If you can't tell that I'm passionate about this, it is one of the most deep-seated beliefs, core beliefs that I hold. The power is in the team. Get around the team, and I promise you, they will teach you how to win with your cards.
And everything on this screen right now, all of these advantages that we've talked about, you're going to learn more about those in conference. You're going to learn how to use those tools that you have. Remember, you bring the hustle. That means doing whatever you have to do to get there. Sell an Xbox, do a yard sale, hawk a ring, like some people have done in this business. Do something, whatever it takes to get there. And you're going to learn how to use these advantages, because knowledge, Diane says this, knowledge is not power. Everybody says knowledge is power. Knowledge put into practice is power.
It's applied knowledge.
Applied knowledge. And so this is where you're going to learn how to apply the knowledge. And so, guys, we are at the end of our call. I will say these advantages are designed to make you have the ability to earn more money. But at the end of the day, it also helps us serve more families. Guys, our motto is have fun, make money, make a difference. We make a difference. Okay. These are super important. We're changing people's lives, and these advantages will help you help more people and change more lives. And as our last push, this is your next step. Your next step is to go to theallianceevents.com and go look at what it takes to get to family reunion. Talk to your manager, talk to them about tickets. You can go right on there and buy a ticket, but talk to your manager, say that you want to go, brainstorm, figure out a way to get there.
Figure out how to bring someone with you. Just like going on a world-class trip is amazing, but it's better when you go with your friends, when you go with people you love and love being in life with. Bring someone with you. It's Miami. I promise you won't have to twist their arm to go to Miami for a few days. So make it happen. Get yourself there. Get people you love there. Get around people that can teach you how to win and want to see you win. Not just can teach you, but want to see you win too. So guys, that's what I got.
All right. We love you all. Have a great rest of your week. And remember the product call tomorrow. And y'all have a great, we'll see you at conference. Okay. Bye.